seasonal greetings. My name is not important. Simply call me the narrator. And of course, with it being Christmas time, it's a joyous occasion where people receive gifts, are grateful for what they have, and spend time with loved ones. But where there is all the light and the goodness in Christmas, there is also the darkness, the evil and the terror. Nestled under this tree before you are 5 gifts of terror, each gift with a tale to tell, a tale of Christmas and horror. Let's begin, shall we, with our first tale of this. A tale of 3 siblings who should be careful what they wish for. Christmas Eve. A quiet, silent night where in a house, in a neighborhood, a family sleeps. 3 siblings, a big brother, a sister and a little brother, greatly await and are excited for the day that's to come as they sleep. The next morning, they awake, and it's Christmas. Running downstairs in excitement with their parents, they unwrap their gifts, but remind them that they must wait for the family to open more of them. They do so, and they have a Christmas dinner, followed by Christmas carols, and play with their toys and gifts that they receive from who they believe to be Saint Nick. Then, as 9 o'clock approaches in the night time, the parents then tell the siblings that it's time for bed. Little brother saying, "Christmas can't be over already." And then the parents saying, "Don't worry, we'll have Christmas again next year like we do every year. Now it's time for bed." As the family sleep, the 3 siblings are still awake, not wanting Christmas to be over already, thinking they have to wait another 364 days until Christmas Day again. But then, big brother and sister notice little brother is on his knees praying, saying, "I wish it was Christmas every day. I wish it could be Christmas every day." And then the other 2 siblings join in. The next morning they wake up. Coming downstairs, they then look and see gifts nestled under the tree. Approaching the gifts, the parents then come downstairs and turn the light on, saying, "Happy Christmas. Why are you up before us?" "Now you can open a few," said the parents, "but be sure to save some for the family when they get here." The 3 siblings at first puzzled, wondering what's going on. They then say, "Mum, Dad, it's Christmas again." The parents, not knowing what the children are on about, they just think that they're dreaming or something, and kiss them on the head and let them open a few gifts. Till the rest of the family arrive, they have Christmas dinner, and also have Christmas carols, reliving the same day as they also received the same gifts. Going to bed thinking they had some sort of a deja vu, they then wake up again, only to discover that it's Christmas Day, again the same day. This time not enjoying it and being miserable. Then the fourth day comes and they're experiencing Christmas again and again, stuck in a time loop. At one point, Big Brother shouting, "You can stop Christmas now, please." Then, as the children go to bed again, dreading the next day that it'll be Christmas morning, up on the rooftop, a creature stands with hooved feet. He then sprinkles some magic dust and flips an egg timer upside down, saying, "You will live through Christmas again as you wished." The siblings wake up, this time just drained and fed up, thinking this time they ought to be bad, thinking this might break the loop. So they get up in the early hours, collect snow from outside and throw it in their parents' beds, unwrapping their gifts without everyone there being present, being rude to family members that arrive later on, and behaving beastly at the table. And then running around with their toys, being rough and playing, and at one point knock down the Christmas tree, spoiling Christmas. The parents distraught, and the rest of the family appalled at them. They then retreat to their bedroom, thinking if they are going to relive Christmas Day again, this time, why not try and have the best Christmas ever? Waiting in bed, their parents then come and wake them up saying, "Santa's been, are you going to wake up?" The children go downstairs, but do not open their presents, stating to their parents that they should wait for the rest of the family to arrive. The family arrive, exchanging Christmas kisses and gifts and hugs. They then unwrap gifts and are grateful and appreciate what they've got. They're politely mannered at the table at Christmas dinner, and they even share their toys that they have received. Then they join in Christmas carols with the family, singing and having a good time, hoping that this time, maybe if they try to have the best Christmas ever and were at their best behaviour, they would break the loop. However, they wake up the next morning and are still in the same Christmas Day. Fed up and angry, Big Brother runs outside in a rage, where a car comes out and hits him, knocking him to the ground, killing him. He then wakes up. Big Brother then looks around and finds that it is still the 25th of December, shouting no. He then wakes up sister and little brother, telling them that it's Christmas Day once again, demanding to know how they're stuck in the loop and what's causing it. Running downstairs, and asking anyone who might be causing the loop. Then soot is coming from the fireplace. A noise is heard. The kids thinking, could it be Santa? But then, out from the fireplace, in smoke, appears Krampus, with his switch in one hand, his chains wrapped around him with a sack, and his long devilish tongue and horns with his hooves, going up to the 3 siblings saying, "You called?" The children wondering, "Who are you?" "I am merely granting your wish. You wished it could be Christmas every day, so by the strike of midnight I reset your day, so you can live it again and again." The siblings then begging with Krampus, saying, "Please, Krampus, please, we've had enough. We now know that if it's Christmas every day, we wouldn't get as much enjoyment out of it and feel the appreciation and gratitude we have instead of taking everything for granted." The siblings tell Krampus that they have learnt their lesson and that Christmas comes once a year for good reason, so that they can be with their family, treat it as if it's the last Christmas they'll have, and being appreciative of what you have, and promising to not be spoilt brats anymore on Christmas. Krampus then tells them, "You wished for it to be Christmas. You weren't specific. You wished it could be Christmas every day, so I made it the same Christmas. But it appears that you have learnt your lesson. Do you wish it could be Christmas once a year?" "Yes," said Big Brother. "We want to just have Christmas once a year, be grateful and good all year round, and then have another Christmas, just not the same one, please." "Very well then," said Krampus. "All you have to do is withdraw your wish." "How do we do that?" asked the sister. Krampus then says, "All you need to do is say together, as you've all wished that it could be Christmas every day, to simply say, 'I renounce my wish.' Say it, and ring this bell," as Krampus hands them a bell. The siblings then say together, "I renounce my wish. I renounce my wish." And then they ring the bell. Krampus then saying, "Now, return to bed. You'll wake up and you'll live the same Christmas one last time. But if you should be naughty or ungrateful, you won't be getting a friendly visit from my opposite variant, that is St. Nicholas. So, from now on, I'm going to be keeping a close eye on you." Krampus then presents a snow globe with their house in it, saying, "I'll be watching you. Always." Krampus then turns into smoke once again and goes back up the chimney. As for the siblings, they return to bed and then wake up and have a good Christmas, being grateful for what they have and being loving to their family members. They then wake up the next morning and find that it is December 26 at last. Happy that Christmas Day has come and gone. They then go downstairs and then get their coats, hats and gloves on and go outside and play in the snow, grateful that Christmas is done and it will be another year before Christmas comes again. Meanwhile, Krampus sits in his workshop watching the siblings from his snow globe, as he then places it on the shelf with other snow globes, where he keeps an eye on children that may or may not have been naughty. So basically, enjoy Christmas while it lasts. It may be once a year, but if you experience it every day, it won't feel so special, will it? Especially if it's the same. Which is why it is a special time. Anyway, let's get to our next gift and our next story, where we see that not everyone gets to have a happy Christmas, and some wish for something better than what they have. Let us look. A boy living with his drunk, alcoholic father never had it easy. His mother dying at a young age and his father not taking the loss well, and left to raise the boy. All he ever wants for Christmas is a perfect family. Every year around Christmas, he would walk past houses and see children with families and gifts and everyone celebrating the holidays. When finishing for the school holidays for Christmas, he sees all his fellow classmates all anticipating the festive season and all the children excited. Of course, this young boy would go home to no Christmas decorations, just an abandoned house like state that he lived in, with no Christmas decorations, and his father passed out on the sofa drunk. Seeing around his neighborhood people with Christmas lights and decorations, he finally had enough and wrote a letter to Santa saying, "Dear Santa, all I want for Christmas is a dad that cares about me and loves me enough to take me to see Santa and to give me gifts. I fucking hate my life." Christmas Eve comes. His father then comes up to his room and wakes him up saying, "Wake up, it's time for your Christmas gift." His drunk father taking the boy to a slaughterhouse where he sees many animals being slaughtered, pigs, cows, even turkeys for the big Christmas dinners that come. His father took him round back and reached into a bin full of animal extracts and waste. He reaches in, and there he finds a goat head and gives it to the boy. The boy then takes the goat's head and carries it home, where many other kids look and see all the children disturbed by him carrying a goat's head home, as blood drips around and people look in horror, some weirded out. Then, when they go into his house, his father just falls asleep drunk, and the boy is left with the goat's head. He then says to the severed goat's head, "I bet you would make a better father than my own dad." Then, going to sleep on Christmas Eve night, he is then awoken by a sound, a large clatter on the roof. He then goes downstairs to investigate, where his father is drunk and passed out, with beer bottles and cans everywhere. The boy then looks into the living room, where he sees a tall, horned creature with a long tongue and hooves. It's Krampus. The boy then asks, "You're not Santa. Who are you?" "What are you?" said the boy. Krampus then said, "Why, I'm not Santa Claus, but I am his opposite. You say you want a father for Christmas, and your actual father has been neglecting you. All he does is cares about his drinking, never cares for me, never cooks, nothing. It's like I'm ignored by everyone, even at school. I don't even know what my mum was like. She died when I was too young to remember." "I see. Well, you can't have two fathers in your life. I can be the father figure to you. After all, you did write to Santa." "But I ripped that letter up." "But I found it," said Krampus. "Now, how about you free your father from his suffering? Let him be with your mother, and you can come back to my domain." Feeling influenced by Krampus, he then goes into the kitchen and gets some duct tape, wrapping his dad around, tying him up, and then going back into the kitchen, where he grabs a kitchen knife and slits his throat, killing him. Krampus then goes, "Good boy. You're free from your abuse. Now you can come home with me." "What will I do?" said the boy. "You can be my helper, like many other children that have come before you. Good, naughty, wanting a new life, I grant it. You can be immortal." Krampus then scratches the boy along his face, and then all of a sudden he starts to change. His bones begin to break, and his ears get pointed, his body becomes crooked, and is turned into an elf, an evil elf, as he lets out a huge cackle, laughing away. He then takes Krampus's hand, and just as he's about to go up the chimney with Krampus, he asks that if he can take something with him. Krampus says all right, and the boy, now an evil elf, takes the goat's head with him, saying, "I never liked gifts that my father got for me from that slaughterhouse. One year he got me a cow's head, the year before a pig. But this one I like. I think I'll keep it as a souvenir." "Very well then," said Krampus. They then turned into smoke as they went up the chimney and went all the way back to Krampus's lair, where he then said to the boy, now an evil elf, "Go, start your work. You have a purpose now and a family with all these other elves that are evil, wicked, and naughty." "Yes, of course, Krampus. Thank you for your gift. You gave me a family. It's not perfect, but it'll do nicely. Also, you gave me immortality. I get to live forever." "Yes, you do." The evil elf then joins Krampus's workforce. As for Krampus, he then retires to his office, where he sits in an armchair with a fire and bones. He then pours what looks like blood into the top half of a skull and sips it, whilst also lighting a pipe and smoking it, enjoying the fire. So sometimes, if you wish hard enough, you might get what you want, and it may not be perfect, but be grateful for what you have and cherish those memories. So our next gift tells the story of people, love and lovelessness. Let us go into it, shall we? Christmas time, where those who have loved ones get gifts for one another. One man, wanting to find a gift for his wife for Christmas, strolls along the Christmas high street, window shopping, until he stumbles across a jewellery store where he finds a bracelet which he thinks his wife will like. He purchases the bracelet and then gift wraps it when he returns home and has it ready for her on Christmas Day. When Christmas Day comes along, his wife unwraps the gift, and the woman, she does not show an ounce of appreciation. The man opens a gift that she got him, and of course, it's a watch, and he's not too over the moon about it himself. The two couple eat together in silence and don't say much to one another. As husband and wife, they have no love for each other left. And also, during that time, the woman breaks it to the man that she's been having an affair. The man, not shocked, he asks who it is. She tells him it is no one that she knows. Then, later that evening, the man cries in anger, wishing his wife would love him and wishing he could also love his wife back, but there was no spark there. He wishes that he could find a woman to love, even if it meant trading in his current wife. Of course, that call did get heard in the darkness of the house. A tall horned demon, yes, that's right, Krampus, stood and said, "You want a gift that you love," said Krampus. "I can give that to you, but you must wait." "Do you understand?" said Krampus. The man nods and says yes. 1 year later, the man, still with his wife, both on Christmas Eve, getting ready to go out, with the affair for the woman being out of the bag. The man she is having an affair with walks in. The other man looks at the man and says, "Look, it's no hard feelings, but your wife is with me. I think those divorce papers you signed have shown that you're ready to move on." "I am ready to move on," said the man. "In fact, over the last year before we even filed for divorce," said the man, "I myself have been having an affair." Hearing a doorbell, he goes, "That will be her now." Walking in, a young, beautiful woman, introducing herself to the woman and the other man. He then tells them that he has been having an affair with the other woman for over a year, since last Boxing Day, a day that's after Christmas Day on the 26th of December, for those who are not in the UK or Australia. The man then says, "She's perfect, and all I have to do is, well, fulfill my end of the bargain." The woman and the other man wondering what the hell is going on. The other woman then telling, "Oh, he means you're going to rot in hell. See, I was in an abusive relationship before, and I wanted a good man, a perfect man. And that is when he came to me a year ago saying that he can do that for me. I just had to, well, I killed my former partner. He was a nasty man and, well, he just requires free sacrifices out of this deal. And as me and your, well, now ex-husband are together, it's the same deal, so he still requires only 2 sacrifices. The other man asking, "What the hell are you on about? You're both delusional." "Come on," said the woman, "let's get out of here." Then the power cuts out. The doors all lock. Then a switch is seen with a shoe placed inside with the switch. Then the other man and the woman then feel a sharp pain as they're being scratched by something. They then see coal in their sight. Then emerging from the fireplace, soot falls, and coming down it is snow, then forming into Krampus. Krampus then saying, "Ah, I told you patience comes to those who wait." The other man going, "What the fuck is this? This is some sick joke." "It's not," said the man. He then stabs the other man in the heart. As for the other woman, she also does the same to the woman, killing them both. Krampus then collecting their souls, placing them in a whiskey flask, saying to the man and the other woman, "Our deal is honored. I hope you have many happy lives together." The man then asking, "Our deal is done. You don't need our souls now because we gave you free in exchange for ours." "Oh, of course. Your debt to me is paid. What you do with the rest of your life is your business. But if you should show any displeasure or any dislove to one another, well, let's just say I'll be keeping a close eye on you from now on, just to make sure I haven't wasted my good magic on this arrangement. You have a nice life. And of course, who knows what happens now? Your souls will, I don't know what, but this is a very big sin, committing murder. You might not make it into heaven." "Farewell," said Krampus, as he then made his way back up to the chimney. As for the bodies of the woman and the other man, they too whirred away into snow and went up the chimney with Krampus. As he then got to the rooftop, he then went onto his sleigh where his goats and rams pulled along, and he flew off into the night sky as Christmas Day approached. So, will you be willing to do what it takes for the one you love? And if you don't love that person but another, what extremes will you go to? Let us go to our penultimate tale, shall we? The Next Gift of Terror, which tells the story of one troubled person and how looks could be deceiving to the youngest of minds. December 17th, a week before Christmas Eve. Many people having work Christmas outings and getting ready for the festive celebrations ahead. 2 women sitting outside of a bar while smoking, notice that there is a silent man sitting at a table across from them, wearing a Santa suit, wearing an empty, emotionless Santa mask with empty eye sockets. He sits there staring at them. One woman feels the need to go up to him and ask for a selfie, being a bit flirty with him. Then the Santa gets up and leaves. Then, later on, as the two women call it a night, one gets into the car, and then one of them says, "Hold on, I need to pee." She then goes out of the car and into an alleyway where she crouches down to urinate. Then she sees the Santa standing as she gets up, saying, "You're that weird Santa guy. Look, whatever you're doing, you're a bit weird out. You're a bit weirding me out now. I'm gonna go." As she turns around, the Santa holds a rock in his hand. He then runs up to the woman and bludgeons her with the rock, hitting her repeatedly until she's dead. Then, whilst the other woman is waiting in her car, she scrolls on her phone, reading a news article on a newsfeed saying that deranged mental patient Nicholas Frost has escaped from a mental asylum, and also, in other news, a local costume store had been broken into with a Santa suit stolen and an old wizard mask that looks like Santa, and that if anyone had seen a creepy man dressed as Santa should report authorities. Realizing that she had seen him, then, as the car door opens on the passenger side and the passenger gets in, she then says, "Hey, listen, there's a madman on the loose, and I think we just seen him." She then turns to the passenger side, only to find the Santa, now known as Nicholas Frost, is right next to her and slams a rock into her face, killing her. 1 week later, Christmas Eve, a little girl asleep in her bed hears a noise of a window breaking. Waking up, she goes downstairs very quietly so she cannot be heard. She then sees what she thinks is Santa Claus, but of course it's Nicholas Frost, placing rocks all around the Christmas tree and opening the presents. The little girl then says, "Santa, why are you opening the presents? And what's with all the rocks rocking around the Christmas tree?" Nicholas looks at the little girl. She then asks if he's going to eat any of the milk and cookies. He then puts his finger to his lips, and then the girl asks if he wants to see her mum and dad. Nodding his head, she goes and takes him upstairs, where she wakes up her father saying, "Santa's here." The father then says, Go back to sleep, honey, and he'll be here, and his gifts that he left under the tree will be there in the morning. She then goes, no, he's really here. The mother then tells the father, take her back to bed. Okay, he then gets up out of bed, only to see Nicholas Frost standing by the window before hitting the father on the head with a rock. The mother then wakes up, but before she can, he also hits her with the rock. Both of the parents then wake up, tied up with duct tape, back to back. The little girl then says, we're playing a game with Santa. Then the parents say that that's not Santa, he's a very bad man. Then the little girl saying, that's what he said you'd say. He says you've been really naughty. Look, we're not naughty, but you grounded me. Whenever I wanted something and you said no, that upset me. And he says you were naughty. Well, your parents were supposed to say no to things if we don't agree with them or if they're not to our standards. We're only being your parents. Then Nicholas walks up to them saying, you keep away from us. Just get out of our house. Begging for their lives. The parents offer him money, but he doesn't want money. He then goes up to a glass of milk and puts in a pill. He then gives it to the little girl as she drinks it. Then, feeling tired, he takes her back to bed where she falls into a deep sleep. As for Nicholas, he dances around the parents before getting a knife out of the kitchen drawer and killing them brutally by stabbing them and cutting their throats, killing them until they're laid face down in a pool of their own blood in the kitchen. And then he leaves the kitchen, going upstairs looking at the little girl asleep. He then walks downstairs and writes in blood on the walls, Merry Christmas. He then goes back to the tree and starts unwrapping all the gifts again and smashing and stamping on all the toys. He then places more rocks around the Christmas tree, admiring his display. He then sits in an armchair and admires the tree, and then notices there's an old record player and finds a Christmas vinyl. Putting it on, it plays Rock Around the Christmas Tree, the original classic, whilst he greatly admires and is pleased with what he's done. Then Nicholas Frost then makes his way out of the house and walks off into the snow where there's bloody footprints following him. Meanwhile, in the house, as the parents lay dead in a pool of blood in the kitchen, Christmas presents unwrapped and destroyed, and rocks placed around the Christmas tree as if some bizarre ritual that he performed. And seeing all that in the house, including the message, "Merry Christmas, raining blood on the walls," we then see, by the window, looking inside the house, Krampus, admiring the work of this deranged man that dresses as Santa, Nicholas Frost. And just because someone may look like something nice, always beware of something nasty pretending to be something nice. And of course, where one evil thing is happening, something even evil could be watching that dark evil moment. Now we come to our final gift of this Tales and Gifts of Terror, where we see how it differs from the good being rewarded and the naughty. Let us dive in. Christmas Eve. A young girl is in bed, and she then is woken up by a noise she hears from the roof. Sneaking downstairs, she then sees a red person. It's Santa Claus. The little girl then goes, "Santa?" Santa then looking, saying, "You're supposed to be asleep," said Santa. "Also, you've been a naughty girl this year. You're on my naughty list." "Then why are you giving me presents, Santa?" "Because I have a forgiving nature. And also your brothers and sisters have been good this year." "Oh, I see, but I'm awake now." "Yes. Would you like to come along with me on my sleigh ride?" "Why?" "Because I think that you can, well, perhaps serve a purpose. Come along." Santa then takes her up the chimney. Holding her hand, she too turns into snow going up the chimney and then onto the sleigh. As they start flying through the sky, Santa introduces his reindeers, Comet and Cupid, Donner and Blitzen, Dasher and Prancer, and Donner and Vixen. She then asks, "Where's Rudolph?" Santa tells her that was just a song from 1929. "If only I did have a reindeer like that," said St. Nick. Then, stopping at another house, Santa tells her to wait in the sleigh. He goes down the chimney, and after a while he then comes back up with another boy. He then says that he too has been naughty and needs to come along. They then fly around the world, going to different countries and also collecting another child, and then another one, and a fifth one, a sixth one, till he has 3 boys and 3 girls flying along in his sleigh, helping him deliver presents and gifts to all the good boys and girls. The 6 children wondering why is Santa being so nice to them if they have been naughty this year. As the sun starts to rise around the world and Santa is nearing the end of his round, he then says that there's one more stop he must make before home. He then lands the sleigh on a snowy landscape where there is an ice cave. Santa then tells the 6 children, the 3 boys and the 3 girls, to come out of the sleigh. And then they follow him to this icy cave. Santa, with a reluctant look on his face, tells them, "You will enter. Your gifts are here," said Santa. The children wondering why he's telling them to go in there. Santa says, "Just go in there. The gifts are there. The gifts are here," as he shouts into the cave. The children then go in to the cave. Santa goes back to his sleigh and then looks in regret, saying, "You know the deal. 6 children, and you won't spread a lot of terror." The children wondering what's going on until they see deeper into the cave that there's a fiery pit. And walking from it, they see a shadow of a horned creature with claws and hooves and chains wrapped around him, with a switch in hand and a long tongue. It's Krampus. Krampus then approaches the children, saying, "Ah, 6 naughty children. As always, I honor the deal we make. You give me 6 naughty children, and I'll stay out of causing Christmas terror." Santa then says, "I know you go out and cause bother around the world, but this stops you from destroying Christmas and terrorizing it. I'm sorry, children. May God forgive me." Santa then has his reindeers take off in the sleigh. As for the children, they try to run, but then Krampus wraps them with his chains and touches them by the cheek, turning them into evil elves. All the children turning crooked and wicked and ears growing pointed, they become Krampus's new little helpers, and then takes them into the cave where his workshop is and says, "Here is the workforce. You will dig for coal and you will serve me, and in exchange you can live forever as an elf." The 6 little helpers then get to work. As for Krampus, he retreats to his office, where he then looks and admires his snow globes, keeping an eye on things with people who have had encounters with him. He then sits in his chair by the fire and lights a pipe and starts to smoke that, and greatly grins at the fire, saying, "Oh, happy holidays." So, as that story tells you, be good, and your kindness will be rewarded. Although it may not be something great, be grateful to be alive and having and what you have. And don't be so ungrateful for it. And of course, the naughtiness, the bad, can go punished with terrible consequences. That's all for our Gifts of Terror. I hope you've enjoyed the show and my narration and these 5 festive horror tales. I have been the narrator, and this has been Gifts of Terror. Thank you all for listening, and a very Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year to you all. Farewell. Be sure to like, share, comment and subscribe. And what did you think to the tales? Do feel free to let us know. And until next time, don't have nightmares.